Good afternoon. Well, she is here. We're safe. I just waited for you.
Thank you very much.
Today is Wednesday, November the 19th, 4 p.m. I need a motion for the approval of the board minutes of November the 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve board minutes.
Second motion.
Any questions, comments to make? All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Need a motion to approve the payment of claims.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Questions regarding the claims? Actually, they're check numbers.
But the claims are right here.
Check numbers.
The claims are right here.
Okay. Oh, there's Mr. Dustin. Okay, next board, we're gonna see, did we do payment of claims?
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
haven't voted on it yet.
Didn't vote. All those in favor of the payment of claims, right hand, and it's unanimous. Public comment, do we have a public comment?
Right from the public here.
Okay. Old business, do we have any old business? Looks like not. 6A, approve Peru Municipal Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 59 to Thieneman Construction. 6A.
I'll make a motion that we approve 6A.
Second motion.
Thank you. Any questions, comments regarding this? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. 6B, approve the Peru Municipal Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 60 to Cornerstone Grants Management, attachment 6B.
Make a motion to approve attachment 6B as stated.
Second.
Did someone whisper it?
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, we got a second, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Questions, comments? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. 6C, approve replacement of truck number 255, attachment 6C.
I'll make a motion that we accept 6C as written.
Second motion.
Bryce?
This is a
Question.
replacement bucket truck that was in the capital budget for this year. Budget 275. We use Sourcewell, so that meets all of the purchasing requirements. And the cost of this truck is $219,172. Of course, we'll have other
Expenses.
small expenses to outfit the truck, but
How small is small?
small compared to that, 20,000-30,000 probably, but ladders, just outfit the truck,
Sure.
tools, boxes.
Okay.
On behalf of what's the difference?
And
We ready for a vote?
This also is,
Oh, and I guess
we
so.
need to, this is also the disposal of the truck we're replacing 255. So we'll put that on, deals and try to sell that one.
Is that bucket truck something that we could use somewhere else in the city, Josh? I mean, I've seen it, I don't know what it looks like.
For $219,000, 172, you can absolutely, no, obviously. I don't know the condition is that, it's kind of,
It's become kind of a maintenance issue for us with the engine and then the boom itself, and I think it's one of the larger ones. And in speaking with the street department and stuff before, they've tried to stay away from the CDL trucks.
I know we have a couple bucket trucks, but I wasn't sure what physically what this one looks like. There could be some we could use.
I mean, like I said, Mike's talked to him, and I said to him.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to know.
But he can come over and look again, and we're good for that.
Yeah, before we get it all go deals, if they don't know, somebody wants to take a look at it.
Okay. All right. Should they come to you, Michael?
That'll work, yes, sir.
Where were we on that?
Need approval?
We need a vote. Okay, to approve the replacement truck 255. All those in favor, please, right, it's unanimous. There it is. I need a motion to approve the resolution number 5226, annual salaries for the mayor, the clerk treasurer, the utility service board members, and the attorney.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 5.
Second.
No, go ahead.
Second.
Okay, any questions, comments?
Yes, my understanding is this needs to go before the.
Excuse me, please.
Yes,
Is he entitled to make a comment at this moment in time?
Well, the board.
I was
would-
asking the
The
board.
board would make the comment, and then you would ask for his comment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, excuse me. Does the board have anything to comment on this? Okay, now you can comment,
thank
thank you.
you, Mary. My understanding is that this resolution needs to go before the city council for approval.
Correct.
So the resolution goes before utility service board and the ordinance comes to the council for ultimate approval.
Right. So
Yes.
this in itself today is not the final determination. It is the recommendation of the utility service board. And the city council can overturn this, correct?
The city council will have the authority to make a decision ultimately, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Anything else?
No, thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Looks like the savings of $2,400 a year combined is pretty significant.
Good.
Yeah.
Truck number 5. Okay, DE.
D.
Just have to vote.
Just vote on
Oh, we still need to go back and vote.
it. Yes.
Approve the resolution 5, number 2026. Annual salaries for the mayor, clerk treasurer, utility service board members, and the attorney for 6D. Okay, so we needed a vote. Unanimous. 6E. Well, I find it there. There it is.
Quarterly tracker.
Approve the first quarter 2026 electric tracker adjustment. Attachment 6E. Need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to accept 60 attachment.
Second.
Okay, so this is
Excuse me.
an increase, for the first time, like a real increase for the first time since January or December of 2024. We're finally, I say, we're back to the rates that we were, in December of 24.
Good.
Plus 68 cents. It's a $5.79 increase on the first 1,000 kilowatts for our residential customers. And this is mostly based on the rate study by our energy provider, our partner IMPA, and increases in the system to purchase energy. So there hasn't been a huge adjustment in power charges, energy, but the system itself, the JTS, all the maintenance on the JTS is really pushing, the joint transmission system is really pushing the costs of energy higher. So, but again, this is solely this isn't for us here at the utilities, it's solely a pass-through for energy costs. our compared rates are up there for you to view, if you will. That's all I have.
Okay,
Still the cheapest rate.
pardon, what'd you say?
Still the cheapest rate.
Other than Logansport, we are, yes.
Other than Williamsport, well, that's a change.
Well, they got a different setup.
Okay. So probably need a motion to, and we've had it,
We got the motion and pass.
and second, okay, we need a vote. All those in favor of? Unanimous? Thank you. $680. Yeah, approve equipment disposal.
I'll make a motion that we accept attachment 6F, equipment disposal.
Second.
Thank you. I must admit, I had a hard time putting this picture with this picture to make up one picture. I didn't get it. Sorry.
We did buy the dump trailer earlier this year. It was around 12,000, correct? And it replaced both of these pieces of equipment for us. Just look, that 92 flatbed, that thing's 33 years old and well used, and they're hitting the starter with a wrench sometimes to get it to start, and it's been put through its paces. And then the large trailer is, just as you can see, is definitely well used, and we replaced it with a $12,000 piece of equipment, so both of these. So we're asking for disposal. We're gonna internally bid them, and if there's an interest, in put them on gov deals. They're not really worth anything. We can't even find a comparable for a 92 Ford flatbed that's 33 years old out there, just to see what it's even worth to us. So, and we've got to sell something that's pretty much dysfunctional. We just need your approval to dispose of it.
Okay,
We've got a motion in, second.
we've got the motion in, okay, he filled in the blanks, all right. All those in favor? Unanimous. G. LTCP, long-term control plan update, that would be Josh.
Thank you. Really don't have anything for the update. We're still moving forward with getting the pieces of the plant project that need to be done before winter hits, so we can continue on the inside with these projects. Still moving forward with the engineering on the large storage project, and the testing of the new land we just acquired. So there's really nothing other than they've just been continuing to move forward with the project. Jamie, anything else?
We did we talk last time about moving it to third quarter?
Yeah.
Closing, okay,
April.
March.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And that means we're moving on to the administration update. And our mayor is here today.
Thank you, Mary. Several things. Christmas parade, November 22nd, starts at 4 o'clock downtown. We have a civic center open house on the 7th of December from 2 to 5. That's on December 7th. It's a civic center. The new car wash in the West End, Dickey's Express, is scheduled to open on the 4th of December. The 2 North project, the old First Farmers Bank and Trust building, the development contract will go before the council in December for final review and hopeful approval. We do have tours and visits scheduled with the council members through the building tomorrow, so they can see the project firsthand. We are working on the recycling cleanup at the old recycling center behind Hardee's. That building is full of recyclable materials. It poses a very large risk to us from a fire load standpoint. So we are moving forward with getting that material out of there and to a landfill. And then we will work on where that money can be recovered from. But our first priority is to get it the heck out of there before we have a catastrophic event. North Broadway, you'll soon be seeing a Verizon store coming in that location on North Broadway, the building where Lowe's Trace is eventually going to move into. They have signed a contract with Verizon. One Stop Express on US 24 and Mexico Road. They're telling us that they plan to be open by November. By Thanksgiving. So I hope that does actually happen. And we are in the midst of discussions, negotiations with the county regarding EMS service for Miami County. It has been decided that we will have 2 ambulance services in Miami County. The county will be served by Parkview. The city will be served by Lutheran. The issue now is how it gets dispatched. So we're working out those details, but the plans currently are for the county to engage with Parkview effective January 1. So we're working through those details. That's all I have, Mary.
Okay, thank you. If I may ask you to please repeat what you said about the parade, what time, what date?
The parade is this Saturday, the 22nd. The parade starts at 4 o'clock. And the tree lighting is at 6 p.m.
Okay,
And throughout the day, I think from noon to 7, they'll have events downtown as well.
okay, thank you. All right, very good. Was there anything else?
No, it's all Mary.
Okay. Justin.
Dustin? No.
There's wrong font on the
Yeah,
paper.
no, it's fine.
It's hard to
I'm
read.
sorry, back up. Okay, sorry.
No worries. Still getting, I would say, harassed from the gentleman who owns the property above the overpass on 31 there, asking if the city or the utilities is going to make an offer for a permanent easement there. Last place it was left, he came down to 14,000, which I think is absolutely absurd. I told him knock a couple zeros off. He didn't like that idea. Indicated that his survey and closing costs and everything would be more than knocking a couple zeros off, which he's probably not wrong in the sense that a survey $1,000 or so for that property plus closing costs would be probably up to 1,000, maybe 500 to 1,000, but nonetheless, we're there under a prescriptive easement at worst, so I think we're good to go. Need to negotiate from a point of strength, and that's what we're doing. That's about all I have to report.
Thank you. Yes. Next we have the manager's report. Thank you.
Go through the division water management capital plan. Pass it around. Didn't get one.
There's multiple too, still there.
Oh, we got, yeah, it's 2 packs. Each one is, yeah, those are some.
Oh, okay. No regular. I give you my Grissom one. And then we need another Grissom.
Oh, they stick together after that. Who's missing one? What'd you guys do?
I pulled the paper, took it apart.
There's one right there. It'll be, I'll put it up there too. Oops. So like we did electric last meeting, we're just gonna briefly hit the highlights of what our cap plan is. We focus on next year, but understand it's there's a whole process, and we'll talk a little bit about the future years, but you can see where we're at on those. So, and I'm gonna let Jamin, I'm gonna jump in here and there, just like with Mike. So we'll start with Peru Water. Jamin?
Okay, so for the sheet for Peru Water, you'll see the first 3 items coming down the top: residential and commercial meter installation, service line replacement, and hydrant replacement. Those are things we do every year. Hydrant replacement is either while we're doing flow testing, which we're doing right now, they turn up a hydrant that is broken, or someone runs one over, which does happen. Then we've got money in there for hydrant replacement. The service line and meter installations for commercial is generally it's new construction. You know, if someone's putting in a new building, we'd have to put in a new meter setup for them, or they would put it in themselves. And for residential, this would be a meter system starts leaking. We go out there, generally we have lead service lines, so we're replacing all the way out to the main for those. And those are just costs we have every year. The hydrant flow testing, this is, we're doing hydrant flow testing right now. Maybe you've seen a company called M.E. Simpson out there flowing hydrants. They were out on Main Street today, and I saw them again on Canal Street today. What this does is, one, verifies that the hydrants work, and another verifies the capacity of the hydrants for how much water they flow. We don't need to do this. It probably wouldn't hurt to test the hydrants to see if they work, but we flush our own hydrants a couple times a year, and we can do that. This benefits the city and their ISO rating.
We solely do this for the benefit of the city. This doesn't do anything for us, but it does, what it does do is allow them to have their insurance and their fire rating be significantly lower when we're at the top of our game.
So hydrant flow testing isn't until 2027. System leak detection, we try to do this about every 7 years. That's not till 2028. And then next year, we're doing valve exercising and inspections. This is also about every 5 to 7 years. So we have a company come in and open and close every valve in the system, make sure they're operable, count how many turns it takes to open them, because when we open them, if they start to stick and we think they're open, but they're not, we like to know. So when you open a valve, you count the number of turns. So that's next year. And then that helps us to have an idea. We have money in there right below that for system valve repair and replacement. So when they identify some bad valves, hopefully they're broken open, we can leave them in place, but we need to put valves in to isolate the system so that when we do have leaks, we have smaller boil order areas. We can isolate smaller pieces of our system.
And the hydrant flow testing, the system leak detection, and the valve exercising are not technically paid for out of the depreciation. They are expensed, but they are on here so that we can schedule this. We know what the next year's comes, so they're not even factored into the cost in our cap plan, but they're going to be in the O&M budget that you get at the next meeting. However, we put them here because we would like to remind ourselves, okay, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, what did we do last year? It's right here, and we don't have to worry about it.
When we do our normal budget, which you'll see in a couple weeks, it's only next year. And this is a thing we need to plan, and it's expensive, so it helps us to put it here. And then nothing else in the near future for the rest of that page. Second page, for the water. Water tower inspections. We're required to inspect our water towers every 5 years, so we have that out at 2029. Cleaning. This is technically not required. We really never have to clean our towers. However, our towers are the city's billboards. And if they look bad, then if they look bad on the outside, what does your water look like on the inside? So we do schedule these. I think the two towers up north are the next ones we're gonna do. If you look on there for 2027 and 28, we have the water tower painting and internal refurbishment. $600,000, that's gonna be for the hospital tower. So that always takes a huge chunk out of the budget when we have to like build up for a few years to even be able to afford to do these.
And we have plenty of towers that need to be painted, that should have been painted.
Before I started.
Yeah, that we're catching up. Like we talked about the line trucks last week. You know, that's gonna be a good year when I can finally say, hey, we finally caught up with all of this, all of the painting on the towers. Now, the insides, we get them tested. We know the inside of the lining is good. That's the important part. Those are the things we don't mess around with. The outside painting, if there's rust on the outside, that doesn't impact the inside of the tower at all. So we do and are required to test and inspect the inside of those towers, and we do that frequently in that 5-year period. But we do have a lot of towers that still need to be painted, and not to skip over some stuff. If you look at our ending depreciation fund balance down at the bottom, you see once we get into really painting a couple more towers, that's going to be an issue in the next 3 to 5 years. So that's something we need to keep an eye on.
Well refurbishment, we have 4 wells, and over 7 years we try and get each one of them refurbished once. So we don't do this every year, and it's not quite every other year, but this year we weren't planning any, and well number 6, which we just had done 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, got plugged. So we were having that refurbished early next year, and from talking with our well experts at Peerless Midwest, there's a possibility we need to be thinking about digging a new well. Or not digging a new well, but installing another well. When they put well 5 and 6 in, they dug another one. It's sitting there waiting for us. There's a well casing, it's ready. We would have to build a building around it, put the pump in it, get all the SCADA to it, get electric to it, but it's there. So that's why I have out there in 2030, $350,000 to start that process of putting in a new well if we have to. If we don't have to, that'd be great. But not sure what's going on with well 6, but it keeps plugging up with rust, and that's not sustainable. Booster station equipment refurbishing and maintenance. We're going to be doing some work on the 2 booster stations that feed the towers that are north of town. We've got some mechanical valves in there for turning off the lines when you. The brand is called Clay Valve, and what they do is when the pump turns off, they slowly shut the water off so there's no water hammer. They're problematic. We'd like to get more modern electric valves in there that can be controlled by SCADA. That would also help us to bring water back from those areas into the downtown on our off-peak hours and keep the water fresh. Booster and well structural repairs, that's $10,000. Our wells are little buildings. They look like brick sheds. So not a lot of money and then they're brick, which that doesn't need, but they're starting to need new roofs, and they're starting to need soffit and fascia and things like that. So that's just what that's for. SCADA upgrades and generators. So down the road, 28, 2030, 28, 2031, and beyond, those are the SCADA upgrades. Remember, we paid a lot of money for the brand new SCADA. So that should be fine for a few years. But 2026 is for a generator, and not the generator, but the switchgear. So this whole system is protected on the electric side by a generator that the electric company owns. That's the Black Start generator. Mike talked about and got permission from you guys to replace that generator, but it also serves the water plant. So if that's not doing that, we need to set something up for the water plant to also have generator protection when the power goes down. So next year we are installing conduit and wire and switch gear and a transfer switch so that when the power goes down, we can bring a portable generator in to power the water plant in case of a power outage. We have one of our pickup trucks for next year. Tandem axle dump truck in a couple years, and the dump truck is a 2008 dump truck that we use on all our digs. So it has been well worn. When we do the dig, this is the one that they dump all the material into when they dig it out. We wore through the floor of the dump bed and had to replace it already once. And it's a 2008. I mean, it's had its day. For wastewater, lift station upgrades and equipment replacement. This is just for if we have pumps go bad, we can afford to replace them. Some of our pumps cost up to $120,000 for a brand new one, but most of ours are in the $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 range. So if we need to replace one because it's broken, we can use this fund for it, and if not, as we get towards the end of the year, we can pick one that's been a while, we'll pull a pump out and have it refurbed, or buy a new one, and so we have one on the shelf. We have money in 2027 for the Highway 19 and 300 South sewer rebuild. That's the intersection right before you get to the bacon factory. NDOT was planning on redoing that culvert. It runs diagonally under that intersection. It was going to get bigger and longer, and we were going to have to get our sewer line out of the way. We understand that project's not happening, but we don't know for sure. The state tends to flip-flop on this periodically, so we're keeping money in the budget for that. Treatment plant structural repair. For the wastewater plant, we're doing a lot of repair on most of the plant with this upgrade, but the lab building can use some work, and we've got some other buildings we're not touching in the project that we'd like to be able to do soffit and fascia on, some roofing. Flow monitoring equipment is a standard thing. We're measuring flows in a lot of different places, and in our CSOs. We need to keep those working. And then manhole lining. As we've discussed in past years, most of our manholes are made of bricks. They're built of bricks. So as they age and the bricks fall out, or if the bricks don't fall out and the mortar comes loose, then they start leaking, and then it's a matter of time before we have a catastrophic repair. So for about $10,000 a manhole, we can have them lined, and they guarantee that to be waterproof for 10 years. That's a project we've had going since 2007, so we have several hundred manholes we've lined.
Great.
And then laboratory building upgrades. We talked about the plant structural repair for the other ones. The lab is not getting touched, but in the lab itself, we have metal cabinets from the 90s and a countertop that's starting to get worn out. It gets used quite a bit every day. And so that's what we have that in there for.
Those are obviously things that we don't want to finance. Those are things we need to expense. Those are things we need to pay for through our rates. So that's why the littler stuff that we can afford, we push through, and we're going to do ourselves as much as possible.
And then we're going to be doing sewer lining. We're gonna be coming to you soon for a project to be paid for next year. We want to line Riverside Drive. A couple years ago, we did Riverside east of Broadway, the uphill side. This time it's Riverside going downhill towards the downstream towards the treatment plant. This is a larger pipe, and as you drive down Riverside off of Broadway, the pipe is between the wall and the river. So there's no good way to sit stuff there. There's a lot of trees. This is going to be an expensive project, but this will help us determine and probably reduce the size of the CSO project on the south side of the river when that next year when we have to start doing that.
And we can do it cheaper
Yes.
than having the, having to go through the SRF because it's so, they can strain you so much on some of this stuff as to what you can use, how you can use it, the pay, you don't get, you just don't get the bang for your buck if we were to do something to expense this and use the cap funds for this, that we would throwing it into the project, so.
We're probably gonna save a couple $100,000 on this doing it ourselves. Yeah. Not ourselves, but fitting the project out ourselves. And we've done 20 of these projects so far. Go ahead.
Thank you. I noticed that coming out on, what's that street, the first street, you come out on, like if you've been to the root beer stand or somewhere, then you come out and you tee into the river. Well, you gotta take a left, because you can't take a right. I noticed that the walls are so beat up.
Yes.
What can you do about that? I mean, what can we do to deter anyone other than firing a gun at them? I know we wouldn't do that, but still, the damage is just terrible.
It is terrible.
Area?
What's that?
You wanna talk about your area? Or what we did there?
So is that, you're talking about the area that we damaged and, or just the entire wall in general?
Oh, I didn't know that we damaged, did any
So
damage.
right as when you come down Armstrong to that T at the river,
Armstrong, yeah.
there's
thank
a piece that's missing.
you. Okay,
We had a broken sewer right on the other side of that, so we cut out the wall and we're going to replace it. But the rest of that wall is not Peru Utilities maintenance item.
well, whose is it? It's never been assigned, because they didn't know that.
I don't know, I would say it's probably the city. I don't know for a fact.
To a point though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be the.
It disappears at the
I know
wastewater
that
plant.
it's the county.
It quits right at the wastewater
It is
plant.
city limits, yeah.
The wall
Yeah.
does?
The wall stops at city limits or near.
Because on the other side, that was the state, that they're the ones who paid to take it all out on the other side and did that road, so.
East Broadway was that wall did run down that side also. And when the state redid 124, they took it out. Now, it was installed as a flood wall.
Right. I don't think it would, if it came down, we would replace it with concrete. We'd probably just put a guardrail type barrier up there. Because it was built as a flood wall and,
Prior to the dams.
yeah.
So we have additional protection that we didn't have when that was installed. I have a set of drawings from 1940 and the flood wall was there then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then we have money in it for a plant that says plant upgrade. The reason we have that in there, we've got it for the next few years. What that is, they're doing this big project. They're gonna uncover stuff like, hey, we need to replace this pump, but we can't turn off the water because this valve is broken and it's yours and it's not in the project. So we've just been fixing whatever needs to be fixed as part of the project, but not under that construction. That's how they've all gone. We had to do stuff like that at the water plant and at the Grissom water plant. You know, hey, we gotta change out this check valve. The valve to isolate it is broken, that's not on us. Okay, well, Peru Utilities gonna take care of that. come back tomorrow and work on that valve. So we take care of it and then carry on.
It's cheaper for us to do it than have a change order for something like that, especially on a guaranteed project.
And then 2027, we have a dump truck from 2003 that we're looking at replacing. Probably in conjunction with the water plant dump truck. Grissom Water. Again, hydrant replacement, meter set replacement, commercial residential meter replacement, that's stuff we do every year. We discussed that with Peru Water. But we have the asterisks by the leak detection and the flow testing and the valve exercises. Again, those are not part of the capital budget, but we're showing them here so that we can track them. We have this would be leak detection for next year. So leak detection, we hire a company to come in. They attach listening devices that computers can see the sound waves that the water is making. And when there's a leak, it makes more noise than water just traveling through pipe. Kind of like when you turn your sink on and it makes that hissing noise when you first turn it on. So they can listen to two different points on a main by listening to valves or hydrants or things like that and say, hey, you have a leak. It's approximately this far from this one. And we go dig it up and sure enough, there's a leak. And sometimes they're wrong, but it's really effective in reducing our lost water. Tower coating and replacement. 2028, big number. This would be the smaller tower out at Grissom. The one that's over by the village pantry, the legged tower. And we're hoping, because this one is scheduled for the same year that the Peru one is, that we can get a break on price if we bid them at the same time. So that's our plan right now.
But if you look farther out, that 1 million gallon tower is looming.
Yes.
We may have to swap those. By the way, that 1 million gallon tower, you look,
Yeah.
their engineers off the cuff estimate was just under $1 million to do that 1 million gallon tank.
Which one was it?
One on US 31,
The big one.
the big one. Obviously, when we collect depreciation, only $300 a year, and we bumped that up this year based on what our revenues, it was $220,000. When you're only collecting $300,000 a year, and you got $1 million for, well, you got $1.5 million in tanks you got to paint. There might have to be something done there after we paint the first one, somewhere in there. Now, I would like to revisit pimping out our towers.
Do what?
Having somebody sponsor our towers in the right way to help paint for some of that, to help pay for some of that. I'd like to revisit that at some point, even in Peru, if it's a manufacturer. Why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we look into doing that in the right way? I know there's a lot of red flags there, but I really feel like 1,200 meters is going to have to pay for $1.5 million in tower painting over the next 10 years at the Grissom unit. How are they going to do that? On top of all the other things that we need. No, we just did the water plant, but the water plant, at 5 years in, we're going to have to start doing regular maintenance, large maintenance item, pump overhauls, well overhauls, all the things we just did in the last 2 years. So I just keep that in mind, because I've obviously we're going to look for grants and stuff, but
Richard, just real quick, we've looked into that, and essentially advertising billboard on the water tower has to go out for public bid, and who knows who may want to put their sign on.
we just need to find somebody that's doing it and doing it right. So that's my mission over the next year, to find somebody that's actually doing it, a community that's doing it and doing it correctly, and they have had good results, and we can use that as a template. I think, I know we want Peru Utilities, we're Peru Utilities, we're proud of what we have, but we're also Peru Utilities, and we don't want to have $100 for 3,000 gallons of water either. So if we just keep that in mind. that really wasn't part of this, but since I brought it up.
And some of the stuff you see on towers is because that's either a water district or a private water system. And they have different rules than we do.
Or the business owns the tower itself.
Yeah.
Like Bex and.
Yep. And then moving down to background study and groundwater modeling for well fields. So we have started receiving 3M and DuPont money, as Dustin has talked to us over the past couple months. We have a plan for a study to look at what way the groundwater travels, where we could possibly dig wells that would be not only, one, how long do we have before we have a serious problem there, and two, where can we go if we need a new well? And we want to spend that money on that.
So we're gonna use that money, that's not included in this calculation, that's the money that's sitting there in the special fund that we have. And that's a little more than what we have sitting there, but I believe we have more coming. Am I correct?
Yes, there's more.
There's,
So the study that we initially had was from Peerless, and it was in that $90-something thousand range, so that's why we budgeted $100,000.
David, have we looked into asking Department of Health and Human Services for a grant or anything to actually do a well, since those Department of Defense's?
we, not Health and Human Services, Westler has been on our discussions with Peerless Midwest, and they've been looking for grants for this stuff. In fact, he brought up a couple of them to us that he had found that aren't gonna fit our circumstance, but we are looking.
Even though we inherited from federal government.
Gift that keeps on taking.
They're Teflon.
Yeah.
Let's put Teflon in our system. That's a joke.
That's mistakes.
All right, Grissom wastewater. Lift station upgrades similar to Peru. We got a bunch of pumps that pump poo and things that are hard to pump, so we need to keep making sure they're operational. Same with the instrumentation and control of the lift station. And again, same thing at the plant. That plant is approaching 20 years old from the upgrade that we did in 2008. So we are having mechanical issues with some of the equipment. So down towards the bottom of that, you see plant equipment rehab. We have that, as well as the treatment plant mechanical upgrades and SCADA upgrades. The SCADA system, which is the computer that tells all the machines when to turn on and when to turn off, that was installed in 2008. We've done a couple minor adjustments to it, some program updates, but we really need to look at completely upgrading that one. And we'd like to switch to the program that we're using both at the Peru water plant, that we will be using at the Peru wastewater plant, so that we have a consistent programming system through the entire thing. Sewer line and rehab, we have had this in the budget for a long time. We need to be doing sewer lining out there. Most of the pipes are clay and they leak, which leads to treating more water at the wastewater plant than we need to. We haven't been doing it because we had no money out there. We finally did the rate increase. And the first one we really need to do is going to be the line that runs across the golf course. We were set to do it a few years ago. We had some conversations with the golf course owner. He said September would be best for that. So we're going to be looking at that, and depending on the prices that come back, we may make that a two-phase project where 26 and 27 we do the whole thing.
That's not because he didn't want to. He was really pushing to have it done, but with the revenue issues that we were having out there, we had to make sure we had enough in reserves to pay for operational expenses out there. But now the rate's been in place for 10 months now, 10 and a half months now, and the rate's adequate for us to really push forward with some of the upgrades. We have plant upgrades that need to be done out there as well. Like he said, 2008. So now we feel like we have the funds to do so.
Stormwater. Stormwater has one lift station, and last year we bought a brand new pump for it, And we had the other two this year refurbished, and they were mostly fine. I think combined, they were just over $5,000 of repairs, so way down in 2030, we're gonna revisit that. There might be some, not the pumps, which we just had looked at, they'll be fine, but maybe some instrumentation on that. The separation improvements and inlet manhole and lining, those are standard. We try and do a little bit of that every year like we talked about doing in Peru. In the separation and improvement projects, take a look over there at 2030. There's some areas in town where we need to do some drainage improvements, but we need money in this account to be able to do it.
And if you look at the collected depreciation, we charge $4 per ERU, right? So a homeowner gets that $4 stormwater charge. So we're only in depreciation, only collecting $60,000 a year. So it just takes time to save that up, as well as paying for catch basins, lining, employees to scrape catch basins, and all the maintenance work that they do. So we have to pay for that as well as save up for any type of projects. So I think the first one we had was Beaches Court up there in Parkview. There's always been kind of an issue up there. A lot of that is how it was paved, but it is what it is, and we're going to try to fix it.
There's a lot of drainage that goes into that 12-inch line, and it's really undersized. It goes down Beaches Court over to Cherry.
And there's a few residents in that area that every administration comes in to voice their concerns.
And it's something we would like to fix.
Right.
Yep.
It's not something we caused, or it's not necessarily our responsibility, but it's something that we can tweak up there to try to help that situation.
And then we're buying a new pickup truck. I think it's 2016 maybe?
It is.
That's all I have.
You guys have any questions, any comments or anything on that? Okay, thanks, Jamie. Well, we covered the service board salaries and such will be for the council next meeting. We also have a tracker that will be at the council next meeting, and the sewer use ordinance will be before the council next meeting. Our next meeting, you will have your budget in your board packet, but you will not get the board packet because of the holiday until Monday, December 1st, instead of Friday, November 20th. And have a good Thanksgiving. That's all I have.
Did you say come to your house for dinner?
Come on down, I won't be there, but.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. We are, what year is Richard?